What's up, my dear language learning master? Welcome to episode number 7 of the Language Input podcast, in which I'm going to address the most common questions and misconceptions around the language learning process. And as usual, from an honest, realistic, and fact-based point of view, all right? Because I truly appreciate and value honesty. And as you probably already know, I'm not going to tell you how you can learn a language in 2 months or stuff like that, because it's not possible, first of all. And yeah, because I really appreciate telling the truth and helping you meet your goals when it comes to learning languages, but with realistic opinions and facts, all right? Perfect. And in today's episode, I'm going to talk about flashcards. Yeah. Actually, this is a topic I've been asked about recently on YouTube. And before getting started with my opinion, I have to say that before I was asked about it, I've never used them. Okay. So I want to be clear on that. And after I was asked about it, I've checked them out. I've seen how they could be useful when it comes to language learning. And so I want to be clear on that I'm sharing my opinion here from not really a first-hand experience, all right? Because I've never tried it before. And I just, for a couple of days, I've taken a look at them, I've tried them to see if they could be useful. So yeah, that's my opinion on the topic from the little experience that I have with flashcards, but with much greater experience when it comes to language learning. Okay, so let's go. Yeah. Well, first of all, when I was asked about flashcards a few days ago, and I didn't have any experience with them, I shared my opinion, which was that they could be useful. They could actually provide comprehensible input, thanks to images and you can also listen to the specific names and so on. But in general, I'm not a fan of, trying to consciously learn words or even sentences or, isolated chunks. I mean, so, I don't know if it's because it really reminds me of the old high school days, like that grammar study, memorization, and so on. But, I understand language learning as kind of a side effect that happens when you're enjoying something else. Let me explain that. I'm listening to a story, I'm watching a series, I'm having a real life conversation about a specific topic, I'm reading a book, and what I'm really interested in is the story behind it. So what's going on with the characters in the book, what topic we're talking about with friends in real life, what's going on in the series, whether that particular character is going to find a solution to his or her problem, to the twists in the plot or whatever, right? And I'm learning my target language as a sort of side effect, but I'm actually focused on the meaning, on content, on the message, which is the most important thing, like I've talked about many times, And and all those examples have a context and a story behind it, like I said. And every time I hear about something related to language learning in which, conscious studies involved, or just, memorizing, or even if it's not memorizing, but learning isolated words or sentences or chunks, I'm not a big fan of them, to be honest, because of that reason, because I understand language learning that way, and I think it certainly made a difference in my life when it comes to enjoying my journey, first of all, and also to the results I'm getting, with the languages that I'm getting to learn in my journey. So I personally prefer anything in which there's a story behind, or anything whose content you're interested in, besides the language. Of course, we all have the goal to learn the language in the back of our minds, of course. But, I understand language learning as a process in which, to a certain extent, you even forget that you're listening to a foreign language. When I'm watching a series, when I'm reading a book, I'm trying to focus on the message, on the content, on what's going on. Even to a point in which I nearly forget that I'm listening to a different language, okay? It's sort of like a universal knowledge in your mind that, you're picturing the story or the series or whatever's going on. And you're not really paying conscious attention to the language, okay? Yeah. So that was my first reaction. And then some of the guys on my channel, some of the subscribers, the excellent people who helped me a lot with their ideas, their suggestions, etc. They told me that they agree with me in terms of what really helps you learn a language, which is comprehensible input and so on. But they told me that they use flashcards at the beginning when they're getting started to learn sort of the most common words or useful words. And that actually got me thinking, because of course I still believe comprehensible input is the way to learn a language, and that's what truly helps you learn a language. But I thought, what if learning a few words with flashcards helped you sort of get access to comprehensible input sooner than you would normally have? All right, because many times when I'm trying to learn a new language, it's hard to find even, really simple resources that you can understand. And I thought maybe learning a few words here and there with flashcards, so it's not really memorizing them, could help me out in that regard, and, could give me access to comprehensible input, which is ultimately was going to help me learn the language, right? Acquire the language. So I decided to give them a try, right? And to be honest, like I said, I've just tried them for a couple of days, so I'm not really an expert on them. And I have to say that I've tried that software called Anki, which is one of the most famous when it comes to flashcards, I think. And within that software, you can create your own deck of flashcards, and you can use decks that other people uploaded to the software. All right. And what I've seen is that, first of all, most of the decks were not done in the right way, according to me. And actually, one of the people that commented on YouTube that I said that he or she, that he thinks, or she, I don't know if it's he or she thinks that that they can be useful at the beginning if used the right way, if utilized in a proper way. And I actually agree with him in that, because most of them were not really done correctly in my eyes, because sometimes you just saw the word in English first and then the word in the target language. I tried with Chinese and Russian, and it didn't make any sense to me to see the word in English first and then in Russian or Chinese, because I already understand the specific word or sentence in English, and it makes no sense then, because I'm not really gonna pay attention to the specific word in my target language, because I already know what it means. So in my opinion, if you're really careful with it, if you really plan it out perfectly, and do it in a way that can help you, that can provide you with some comprehensible input in a way, it could be useful at the beginning. Okay, it could be. But I personally don't, like I said, I don't know if it's because it reminds me of the old high school days and so on, but anything that reminds me of, consciously learning a language, memorizing, shortcuts or tricks to learn a language in a sort of different way. I'm not a big fan of that. And when I've said that many times, that whenever I'm in doubt, I'm always going with what I think is the more natural approach. And I don't think flashcards are that natural. I mean, like I said, I do think you can use them at the beginning, and they're certainly a better experience than memorizing lists and studying grammar consciously and so on. But, nah, not a big fan in general, to be honest. But, once again, like I'm always saying in every episode, if you're listening to this on YouTube and if you're listening to the actual podcast, I think you can also comment down below then. But, let me know what your opinion is on this topic, whether you agree with me, whether you don't, whether you agree with me most of the time but think they could be useful in a different way, okay? Because, as usual, I'm more than open to different ideas, different opinions, and if I think it makes sense what you tell me, I'm gonna give it a try like I did with flashcards. Because as long as we're respectful, I'm more than open for that. And especially when I'm starting out with a language that sometimes, especially if it's a different language, it's sometimes hard to find comprehensible resources. So I'm open to suggestions and to ways you use flashcards to help you in a natural way, like I said, in a way that makes sense. All right. And so this has been episode number 7. This is what I wanted to talk about today, everyone. And well, first of all, thank you for listening to this episode. Thank you for coming this far. And for the last time, don't be afraid to let me know what your idea is, what your opinion is on this topic. I'll be more than happy to talk about it with you in the comment section, or because I actually love any type of debate or discussion, around the language learning process. I just love that. So feel free to do it. Feel free to comment down below. I'll be glad. I'll be grateful for that. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful, or it made you think about, some ideas to continue to learn languages while having fun at the same time. And I'll see you in the next episode number 8, in which I'll talk about another interesting topic, as usual. And, have a good day, my dear language learning master, wherever you might be, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.